Like, comment, and subscribe.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers, and our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We are drunk in our water for money, and our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given our hand to the Maswayan and to the Assyrian to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we are born their iniquity.
Shalom Mashpaka, be with you in a few minutes. I'm waiting on some of the family to come in so that we could go ahead and get started. Shalom.
Yai Quab on the track.
Hands on the plow, your hopper shy, coming back, man in the cloud. We is gullah people on the four corner. Must have sinned, but the dead got to pay first. We got a warning from the Father made long time ago. Being marked by the nations everywhere we go. Nothing left but a promise from the Father and the Son. Eat the breadcrumbs, sloppy dogs, but we got you raw with a broken soul and the spirit. Father, heal it. Man, I favor hope over every adversary. I gotta wait, even though it seem a long tarry. My mind tired, but I'm still begging, Father, help me. Now where my mama, where my daddy, I feel lost in the sea of wilderness. Why I'm the black sheep. I don't want to boast of me, cause I ain't trying to be conceited. Pray for clarity of mind, because the devil want me heated. My name and my heritage.
All right, Mashpaka. Shalom. Turn it down a little bit too loud. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, today we're gonna go over a lot of stuff. I got some stuff for y'all, fam, and I'm trying to keep it hype and remember, well, exciting. You know, I'm gonna say it that way. Keep it exciting for y'all. I have a video that I want to show y'all. This is for this purpose right here. So let me go ahead and post this up. Fair use. This is for fair use purposes. Fam. And And I got a video I want to share with you. Shalom Akhwatia Naomi. How you doing? Shalom Akhya Kate Judah Show. CUCFOP. Aman. So let me go ahead and pop this up now. Because, you know, you got to show evidence. Because when you don't show evidence, then if a person will be able to tell you, hey man, you ain't telling the truth. And you know, that's what their motto have been towards us. So I'm finna show this one more time. This is fair use. The copyright law of the United States recognizes a fair use of copyrighted content. Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act states. Can't hardly see that, but you can see it. Let me pull my screen up so I can see it. There I go. Okay. Notwithstanding the provision of sections 106 and 106A, the fair use of a copyright work includes such use by reproducing in copies of phonocards or by other means specified that section for purpose such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching. That's what we're doing on this channel. Include multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, or research. This is what we able to use this content for. It's not an infringement of copyright. This video and or YouTube channel is general, may contain certain copyright works that were not specially authorized to be used by the copyright holders, but which we believe in good faith are protected by federal law in the fair use doctrine for one or more of the reasons noted above. If you have any specific concerns about this video or our position on the fair use defense, please contact us at yaaquabaproductions@gmail.com. We can discuss amicably. Thank you. All right, so we ready now. Let me pause my music, and we're gonna go ahead and let this go ahead and read. Like the elder say, go ahead and read. Here we go. Hold on.
Regardless of its Christian veneer, the basic tenets of Mormonism are in direct conflict with biblical Christianity. The following piece of animation, based directly on actual Mormon publications, highlights these major doctrinal differences.
Mormonism teaches that trillions of planets scattered throughout the cosmos are ruled by countless gods who once were human like us. They say that long ago on one of these planets, to an unidentified god and one of his goddess wives, a spirit child named Elohim was conceived. This spirit child was later born to human parents who gave him a physical body. Through obedience to Mormon teaching and death and resurrection, he proved himself worthy and was elevated to godhood as his father before him. Mormons believe that Elohim is their heavenly father and that he lives with his many goddess wives on a planet near a mysterious star called Kola. Here, the God of Mormonism and his wives, through endless celestial sex, produced billions of spirit children. To decide their destiny, the head of the Mormon gods called a great heavenly council meeting. Both of Elohim's eldest sons were there, Lucifer and his brother Jesus. A plan was presented to build planet Earth, where the spirit children would be sent to take on mortal bodies and learn good from evil. Lucifer stood and made his bid for becoming savior of this new world. Wanting the glory for himself, he planned to force everyone to become gods. Opposing the idea, the Mormon Jesus suggested giving man his freedom of choice, as on other planets. The vote that followed approved the proposal of the Mormon Jesus, who would become savior of the planet Earth. Enraged, Lucifer cunningly convinced 1/3 of the spirits destined for Earth to fight with him in revolt. Thus, Lucifer became the devil and his followers the demons. Sent to this world, they would forever be denied bodies of flesh and bone. Those who remained neutral in the battle were cursed to be born with black skin. This is the Mormon explanation for the Negro race. The spirits that fought most valiantly against Lucifer would be born into Mormon families on planet Earth. These would be the lighter-skinned people, or white and delightsome, as the Book of Mormon describes them. Early Mormon prophets taught that Elohim and one of his goddess wives came to Earth as Adam and Eve to start the human race. Thousands of years later, Elohim, in human form once again, journeyed to Earth from the starbase Kolob, this time to have sex with the Virgin Mary, in order to provide Jesus with a physical body. After Jesus Christ grew to manhood, he took at least 3 wives, Mary, Martha, and Mary Magdalene. Through these wives, the Mormon Jesus, for whom Joseph Smith claimed direct descent, supposedly fathered a number of children before he was crucified. According to the Book of Mormon, after his resurrection, Jesus came to the Americas to preach to the Indians, who the Mormons believe are really Israelites. Thus, the Jesus of Mormonism established his church in the Americas as he had in Palestine. By the year 421 AD, the dark-skinned Indian Israelites, known as Lamanites, had destroyed all of the white Nephites in a number of great battles. The Nephites' records were supposedly written on golden plates and buried by Moroni, the last living Nephite in the hill Cumorah. 1,400 years later, a young treasure seeker named Joseph Smith, who was known for his tall tales, claimed to have uncovered these same gold plates near his home in upstate New York. He is now honored by Mormons as a prophet because he claimed to have had visions from the spirit world in which he was commanded to organize the Mormon Church, because all Christian creeds were an abomination. It was Joseph Smith who originated most of these peculiar doctrines which millions today believe to be true. By maintaining a rigid code of financial and moral requirements and through performing secret temple rituals for themselves and the dead, the Latter-day Saints hope to prove their worthiness and thus become gods. The Mormons teach that everyone must stand at the final judgment before Joseph Smith, the Mormon Jesus, and Elohim. Those Mormons who were sealed in the eternal marriage ceremony expect to become polygamous gods in the celestial kingdom, rule over other planets, and spawn new families throughout eternity. The Mormons thank God for Joseph Smith, who claimed that he had done more for us than any other man, including Jesus Christ. The Mormons believe that he died as a martyr, shed his blood for us, so that we too may become gods.
Although there are thousands of Mormon churches throughout the world, there are only a few dozen Mormon temples. These massive structures play a vital role in the Mormons' quest for godhood. Mormons must engage in a series of occultic rituals inside the temple in order to become a candidate for godhood. Only an elite selection of devout Mormons are allowed to enter. To do so, The potential Mormon God must adhere to a strict code of ethics.
So y'all see the issue right there, right? Okay. So now we gon' see, is this true in the Bible for real? We're not going to just go off of what Joseph Smith had to say about who Messiah was and what the other religions had to say who Messiah was, because there are many different versions of what they claim to be the true Messiah. And if you really want to make it to the kingdom, you would let go of all these theologies and accept the real theology. That's the link to the video right there. Armand, that's the link to the video. And I'm sending out some more invites. Alright, so that's the link to the video. Now you see that we did not make up this doctrine about skin color. As we have seen together, that this thing was put together by people who had a religious mindset. Okay, Mashpaka? So, as I promised y'all, I'm going to go over these letters first, because when you start getting inside the Bible and when y'all start moving, you don't know exactly where it's going, how long it's going to be. And as I promised y'all, I was going to do the letters today. So let me go ahead and pull that up for y'all, and we can start working on some of these letters. Okay, fam? So let me go ahead and pull this up, and I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom to you, Kate Judah, again, and Sister Naomi, and those who are listening in the background, and those who will come here after. Let me go ahead and pull up this here notepad, and we're going to look at the letter Alap, and we're going to write that down. I asked y'all on the last live, can y'all please bring y'all a notepad? I needed y'all to get y'all a notepad and a pen. Get y'all a notepad and a pen so that we can write it, because it's easy for us to write it on the computer. But how many know it's different when you writing these things down on a piece of paper? All right, so we're gonna do it like that. Let me pull this up some. There we go. You know, it's easy to write it on the computer or on your phone. Like when we writing down people's names and stuff, we're not really, you know, doing how we really learn how to write, read, and write English in school. So I want to do this with y'all today. And my handwriting on this computer is sloppy, and it's sloppy in real life. But just do your best, all right? And this is the letter that we're gonna cover. This letter is A. This is what we would learn if we was our bar speaking people, still in our home country, in our lot of inheritance. If we was in school with our parents, they would lead us through, just like we learned inside of kindergarten. We learn how to read and write. The first thing they did is they say, in my class, they said, okay, y'all, we're going to pull out the piece of paper. We had a little piece of paper. And if y'all been in school, I know y'all remember. And if you had a white piece of paper, you had to draw lines under there. All right. And so we got this letter right here. A. Pronounced A. So we doing it using English letters to learn our language, because this is the language that a lot of us speak. Some of us speak Spanish and different languages, but I'm talking to the our bar people that speak English, and that does not exclude any of our blood brothers and sisters who speak French and different languages. This is just the language that we speak in North America and in different parts of the world. So pronounce A. A-H makes the A sound. It's the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet, the numerical value for the A, because that's how you say it, for the A is 1. The root of the word comes from the abar, from the Hebrew word alap, pa, pronounced alap, which means cattle or ox. Before the flood, they did not have a written language. Well, they would write in that. I don't believe that, and I'll prove that to you. Language, well, they would write down words. Everything was done verbally. This is how you learn how to read. You learn how to speak first when you're a little child, and when you grow up, So let me show you how the Greeks write it, and then we're gonna write it down. So let's look at how the Greeks write it. All right, the Greeks say Aleph. First letter of the Greek alphabet. The Greeks is a branch off from here. So Aleph, the first letter of the Greek alphabet is Aleph. You know, Aleph, Alap. So when they say Aleph, Tav, that's not the original way. So Aleph, so we letting you know that we're not doing something backwards. And when you say Aran, it's Aharon. So now let's go back over here. And we're going to write down this letter right here. Now I'm going to write it the ancient way. So we're going to go over to this dictionary right here. I'm just showing y'all to authenticate it. Ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible. And here, I'm going to turn it to page 33. Now, right here, you see the A as an ox head, and you see how it's written. This is the ancient way to write it. So when you go over here, al, a, the middle script is written sideways. So, and then you get the Assyrian script, and then what you say, the modern Assyrian script. Okay, so this is the Assyrian script, and this is the modern Syrian script, and this right here is the Middle Ages script, and that's how you see these letters looking like this right here. So you see the difference in between the letters. So that's why I'm going to the ancient way first, and then we could jump over to this one. Y'all will learn how to write this one. But when we learn this one, we'll have this one down pat, and all the rest of them will be down pat. And you see they say silent. They make this silent, the alap silent. But the alap is not silent in the ancient script. So right here, head of an ox. And you saw it was written alap. So that's why I write mine in a different format. So let me go to one word here so you can see what I mean. That's why I write mine. It look like it's upside down. So we go to the parent-child roots. And you see how it's written like that? And that's why I write mine upside down. Well, not upside down, but right side up. Because when you have an ox head, his head stand right up. So now we're going to write the alap. So you got your pen and paper, family? Now, first you start with this. It look like a triangle. Upside down. Ah. All right. So like in kindergarten, you got to write it all the way across. So draw you a line. We're going to do this. We're going to get this thing. And our bar lashon, You ain't got to worry about no lowercase and uppercase. So we're gonna write this 5 times. All right, there we go. Mine might be crooked, but it's a alap. And how did the children learn how to write? They had to learn how to, how many times you write it? 5 times, right? So they had to learn how to count to 5 as well. So when you see this right here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have to find a numerical value for 5. All right. So I'm gonna go inside the Eastern Bible Dictionary. And let's find the letter that the numerical value is 5. All right. When I find it, then I'm gonna post it up on the screen, Mashbaka. We doing this before we get inside of our message. All right. And I will post underneath the video the study tools. You could get the Zadak app, and they charge, not me, they charge. You could do a $39 lifetime purchase, like you purchase your dictionary, because that's what it is, and they update it with new words and stuff. Or you could do a monthly thing of like $2 or maybe $4 a month. All right. And I've been using this tool for a long time, so that's why I said it is good, because I learned a lot from it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in Hebrew, we don't write the same way that we write in English. We write from left to right, but in the original way to write. So the fifth letter is ha. It's not hey, it's ha. And let me see if I can cause it to sound off.
Ha. Ha.
Ha, not hey. Alright, it's ha, not hey. Okay, so let's look up the ha on here, and we're gonna find the numerical value inside of the dictionary. All right, let's talking about the verbs. All right. So y'all need to get this dictionary. It's a good dictionary source where you can learn the abar lashon. Lashon means tone in Hebrew. Somebody say that's not how you say language. It's lashon. That's how you say tone in Hebrew. When they say the Hebrew tone, tone means language, because that's what you use to speak. All right. And they say lashawan, it means tones. So it could also be talking about a lot of people tongues, like they held out all their tongues. Or lashon, it could just be one tongue. All right. So let me see if I can find what they counting, so that y'all can see, because I don't want y'all to just be listening and saying, okay, that's what he said. And if I can't find it in here inside of these tools, then I'm just gonna look it up online and let a biblical scholar tell y'all they self. All right. So I'm not gonna keep going through all this. Let me look up a biblical scholar so they could tell you the numerical value of Ha is 5. All right, that's how they count it. When they learn how to read, they learn how to count. Our ancestors. Okay, so let me find it. They say, hey, trying to find the exact one. I found a brother. Let him do it. Matter of fact, don't worry about it. I'll post it up at the end of the video. Because I do have it saved, so I'll post it up at the end of the video. Let me come back over here. So we wrote down that, and then we're going to write a line and write it one more time, 5 times. So with your pen and paper, write down the ah. There we go. I feel like that man on TV that used to paint them pictures. There you go. Let's give it a little thing right here. There we go. Boom. And that's a ah. So y'all see that? That's the ah. And we're gonna read it again. Ah. And this came out of the book, the app that I told y'all about, which is really an online book that you can get off Play Store. It's ah right here, and it's pronounced ah. Is the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Why did I do all that searching when it's right here? The numerical value for the ah is 1. The root of the word comes from the Hebrew word alap. Oh yeah, that's why, because I ain't got the ha saved yet. Pronounced alap, and means cattle or ox. Before the flood, they did not have a written language where they would write down words. Everything was done verbally, so it was word of mouth. So what actually comes first? Did the letters come first? All right. So I don't even know why I got on ha, whatever reason. But anyway, ah is 1. La, alap, and that's cattle. And la is the root word for la is lamad, and it means staff. The root word for the pa is mouth, and it means mouth. And some they say pay. They say pay, but it's pa, because like it say, pronounce ah. So that's it. And that's what I want to show y'all today on that. And now I'm finna go ahead and pull up my Bible. And then we're gonna do some detailed study on the origins of the people of Yasha Allah. And we're gonna rebuke that doctrine, that Mormon thing, what we just saw today. All right. So I want you to turn your Bible to Isaiah chapter 20. Yeshaya chapter 20. Open up your scroll. Oh my goodness, all that going on. I didn't have it popped up. Oh yeah, I had it popped up. Good. So turn your scroll to Yeshaya chapter 28. Isaiah 28. Yeshaya 28. Where we at? There we go. Yeshaya 28. I'm gonna make it bigger for you. There we go. Now it's bigger. Yeshaya 28. I like the other one better though. Shalom NYC Rockstar, Los Angeles. Alright, so we're gonna go to Isaiah 28. And I'm finna go ahead and read. And the year of Tartan came unto Ashdod, where Sargon, the king of Assyria, sent him, and fought against Ashdod, and took it. At the same time spake Yahweh by Yeshaya, the son of Amoz, saying, Go and loose the sackcloth from off your loins, and put off Mamathon, and put off the shoes from your foot. And he did so, walking naked and barefoot. And Yahweh said, Let as my slave Yeshaya have walked naked and barefoot 3 years for a sign and a wonder upon Masram and upon Kawash. So shall the king of Assyria lead away Masram prisoners and Masram captives, young and old, naked and barefoot, even with their buttocks uncovered, to the shame of Masram. So they shall be afraid, and the shame of Kawash their expectation, and of Masram their glory. So this is talking about when Yasharal was taken as prisoners from Kemet by the Kashan, by the Ethiopian, as captives. And it say, and they shall be afraid. And look at, this is the part what I want y'all to see. And Yeshaya walked around naked for 3 whole years in Northeast Africa, where the sun being the hottest on the planet. And look, he didn't have on no protective garments on his body. He was commanded by Yahweh to walk around naked with their buttocks showing, as the scriptures say, barefoot as well. And you know how hot the Sahara sand. If you can't hardly walk on the sand in Florida with the equator hitting, how can people walk around Scotch without nothing on, bare naked, in Northeast Africa, without no clothes on, without no head covering? And you know they was when a person take you captive, you don't have no items of luxury and all that. You don't have all this stuff. You are captive. You are in chain. Your hands tied behind your back. You can't rub yourself with nothing. So shall the king of Assyria lead away Masram prisoners and the Masram captives. So the Egyptian captives, the Ethiopian captives, young and old, naked and barefoot, even with their buttocks uncovered, and the shame of Masram, they shall be afraid, in the shame of Kemet, and they gonna be out there with their buttocks out. And let us go here of what he's talking about, so before we go any further in this message, so we can see who this is. The burden of the Sahara. That's what desert is in Abar. Sahara. The Sahara Desert is what they call sub-Saharan Africa. The burden of Hasahara of Yam of the sea. As whirlwinds in the south pass through, so it cometh from the Sahara. Where's the Sahara in Africa? Sub-Saharan Africa. From a terrible land, grievous vision is declared upon me. The treacherous dealer dealeth treacherously, and the spoiler spoileth. Go up, O Alam, besiege, O Media, all the silence thereof have I made to cease. Therefore are my loins, Mamathan, filled with pain. Pains have taken hold upon me, as the pains of a woman that travaileth. I was bowed down at the hearing of it. I was dismayed at the seeing of it. My heart painted. Fearfulness affrighted me. The night of my pleasure have he turned into fear upon me. Prepare the table which the watchtower eat. Drink, arise, ye princes, and anoint the shield. For thus hath Yahweh said unto me, go set a watchman, let him declare what he see. The watchmen are the elders of Yasha'Allah. The watchmen are the leaders of Yasha'Allah. They were to be at the gate to be watchmen. All right? And there are some watchmen that watch out for your soul, the Kahan by Yasharal, the Kahan in Israel. And he cried, A Araya, a lion, Adonaiah, I stand continually, my Lord, Adonaiah, I stand continually upon the watchtower, not what they call the church where they got now, where they was teaching that we supposed to be slaves because we Hamites under the Canaanite curse. I stand continually upon the watchtower. The watchtower was a place in Yasharal where you watch out for enemies coming inside your land. All right, and you also have a Kahan who was supposed to be standing upon the watchtower for your soul, for your Napash. And it was not invaders that was given this responsibility to take care of the sheep, but it was for the shepherds, the Ra'ah, to take care of the sheep, the shepherds. And also a shepherd means a seer, a person that can see the future. And I am set in my ward whole nights. Whole nights. So that means from Arab, last time I couldn't remember, that's from Arab. That's when the sun is getting ready to go down and you see it's half dark and half night. So the whole night is Arab and Layala. Layala is when it's fully dark. Arab is when it's about to turn dark. And Bakar is when the horizon is showing in the sun coming up, like you saw in the video on the beginning, on the intro. So I am set in my ward whole nights. So the whole night. And behold, here cometh a chariot of men, and the chariot have wheels on it. So they didn't, the first one created no wheel. If Yasharal had wheels and chariots down there in the land before they came down there with they Nebuchadnezzar colony. And behold, here cometh a chariot of men with a couple of horsemen, even during the time of Masha. Now they say, and this is what I wanted y'all to see. So now we go back to the Greek thing. We go back to the Greek thing where they declared out of their own admission and said about this Greek thing, how they is the one. So let me pull this up. So let's go here. Let me go back over. Now look at what they say. I left the first letter of alphabet Omega is the last. These letters occur in Revelations chapter 1, 8, and 11, and are represented by Aleph and Omega. Omitted Alpha and Omega. They mean the first and the last. Okay? In the symbol of the early Christian church, these two letters are frequently combined with the cross or with Christ's monogram to denote his divinity. This sign was used to enslave people that did not want to receive Catholicism. So what is this symbol right here? If this symbol was used to force people into Catholicism, if they didn't receive the imagery, if they didn't receive the doctrine of the Roman Catholic Church, this sign was used. Now we just read that Yeshua was commanded to walk 3 whole years, and we know that Yeshua is an Israelite. Yeshua is an Israelite, and he was commanded to walk 3 whole years in Africa, naked, barefoot, no head covering, no nothing. And all of Israel also would have to follow that judgment. So now I want you to go down here and let's read about sunscreen. The year was created around the year of its discovery, they say, was in 1930. Yasharal is older than 1930. The slave trade is older. The slave trade war is older than 1930, and it also was people being snuck over here and put on slave ships anyway. 1940, we were still on plantations. But look at this right here. Sunblock redirects here for electronic music group. Sunblock for the ballpark musical songs. Sunscreen, not to be confused with indoor tanning lotion. The suntan lotion, which intensifies sun exposure. Sunscreen, also known as sunblock, sun lotion, or sun cream, is a photoprotective topical product for the skin that helps protect against sunburn and prevent skin cancer. Now, I am not saying this to speak down on nobody. What I'm saying is that's like you have a bass and you have a gazelle. The gazelle does not supposed to live underneath the water and breathe under the water. And the bass is not supposed to live on land and breathe on land. But in their proper element, the bass is able to survive under the water. There's something called, and the Adam is able to live on the land. All right. And there's something. And there's something called a sea bass, and there's something called a fresh water bass. A sea bass, according to scientists, their bodies, their build up and makeup, they would die if they is put inside of the ocean. Their body was not formed to live inside of salt water. And then you have a freshwater bass. He can't live inside of the sea. And a sea bass, according to scientists, if you put them inside of fresh water, they can't get the oxygen, which means their gills will not work. With an Adam, they have lungs that breathes in air that is off. And you have some Adam that if they live in different climates that is not native to them, then their body will have a unnatural reaction to it. But if you have an Adam that's supposed to be in the calm areas, that's where Ham get his name, hot areas, calm areas, then if you put them in the snowy area, their body was not built for that. So their nose, the way their nose is built, the way that their skin is built to block the rays of the sun. What is the need of the rays of the sun out there? They'll get sick out there. So you have the European people are able to live where it's colder at, and the African, what they call people from the Asia Minor, what they call it now, the Middle East, which is Northeast Africa, and the people that can also dwell in the Sub-Saharan Africa. As we just saw, Sub-Saharan Africa, there was Yasharal living out there without no clothes on, and an Israelite was out there without no clothes on for 3 whole years. Without no clothes and no shoes for 3 whole years. And it was also a sign for the judgment of Yasharal that they would be naked and all that for 3 whole years. So the whole tribe there was out there for 3 whole years. The prophet, symbolizing what they finna do, had to get naked for 3 whole years. Europeans could not exist down there for no 3 whole years. In fact, there were places that Europeans did not go because it was considered as dangerous, according to historians, that Sub-Saharan Africa was off limits for them. That was dead man land. If they went down there, they would die down there. Europeans didn't last that long. Even Alexander the Greek couldn't live that long when he came down there and set up his colony. They didn't live long down there. That's why they had translators to go down inside of the unknown parts of the earth where the Israelites would go to hide from them. The unknown parts of the earth. So let's read about this. Sunscreen was a lotion, sprays, gel, foams, such as expanded foam, lotion, or wiping lotion, sticking powder, and other topical products. Sunscreen are common supplements to clothing, particularly sunglasses. Sun is in the word. Sun glasses. Just like when you need glasses for reading, and that go for Sham, Kham, and Yapath. If they have issues, they need to get reading glasses. Even rays of the sun will cause. So look at this right here. Sunglasses, sun hats to help block out the sun. But look, the prophet didn't have no hat, and he didn't have that. They didn't have no hats and none of that. All of them, male and female, Yasha all had to walk around bare for 3 whole years in what they call East Africa, where the sun raised up the hottest on the planet, where people die from malaria all the time. The hottest place, the calm place on the planet, where Kham was living and where Sham was living, according to historical records written down by the very people who lived in that place, that said, Awarya Shalkar, my flesh black. Because of the heat of the sun. When you don't have a warrior Shakar flesh, then you will be accessible to a skin condition that Israelites had to cover up when they caught this skin condition. Yasha Allah had to cover up their body when they caught this skin condition. That's why the Kohan and them used to put them out, not because they hated them, as people teach, saying that's reverse racist, that's bigotry. No, they've had to put them out because if everybody get infected, then nobody's gonna be able to live. Everybody gonna die, like Alexander the Greek and them came down now and died. So they had to have protection, just like what they have this kind, where they wipe down themselves. Bar Yasha'al and the Hamitic people had it, that was born with it as a protection. European people, they say their noses are flat. Not flat, they're straighter because they were supposed to be, what it was living was the cold areas. Yapath and them went up north. But at one time, they was able to live in the land of Shinar without sunblock. Yapath and them was able to live in the land of Shinar that Yasharal called Baba'al, confusion, because that's where the tongues were divided, and he didn't say Lashon there because Lashon just means tongue. It can symbolize language, but when you say languages, it is a different way on how you pronounce it in the Abar and the Abar Lashon, the way our tongue speak. So when you look at this right here, Sham, Kam, Wayapath was living in the middle of the east, what they call not today Asia, in the land, in the Arats of Shinar. And Yapath didn't need no sunblock. Look at that. Yapath didn't need no sunblock when he was living there at that time. So something happened to Yapath when he went up north. That is for them to bring out. Now, I do know that one thing that they talk about is they said that they had a thing where the Europeans used to say, ashes. It was a sickness that came on their skin back then, and I don't know, it didn't go into great detail, but you can look it up. Historical documents about there was a great plague that was going out throughout all of Europe, and people was getting a skin condition and then dying. You know, a skin condition, and the survivors made it through, and I guess they survived through that plague that came through Europe. And I don't know if that was the time when that plague had went through Europe, or that was a war, an albino war in Europe. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that before they left Shinar, Yapath and them was able to withstand the sun. So that means that their skin was able to survive there. Now some teach that fallen angels, that they slept with them. I don't know. Some teach different things. I'm not gonna say yeah or nay. If it happened, that's what happened. But guess what? The fact that I'm pointing out is that this is unnatural for the Arats, for the planet, for the world. So this means that this is just like if you have a condition, that you lose hair in your head, that was not what your hairline was made for. But I'm gonna use one where if a child is born with a condition that they have fragile bones, right? That's not natural. That is a illness. So people, they're trying to make illness natural, and so it don't work, fam. If you don't need no medicine for it, then you should be okay, right? In order for you to swim under the ocean as an Adam, you need scuba gear. You need an oxygen tank and an oxygen mask. So this sunscreen is the oxygen mask. Metaphorically speaking about the same thing, but in a different way. Metaphorically, sunscreen, tanning lotion is like an oxygen mask. This is how they survive in certain areas. A Negro may need more coats when they go where it's snow at, because we're not that's not how we was, so we had to have a big old coat on. And I noticed they used to have them big old coats back in the 90s in New York, where they used to wear them big old coats down there. And Negroes complain. We had this saying down here in Florida that Negroes complain when it's hot and complain when it's cold, and we ain't never thankful of the weather. Now, if you get up under a shade tree, you may be able to be happy with that. So it's not saying that Negroes cannot get hot or sweat under the sun. That's not what this is about. The thing is that when you sweat, but did your body, so this is their scuba gear to come inside of Northeast Africa, South Africa, which they didn't even step foot in these places at one time. And when Alexander the Greek finally came down there, he died of a mysterious death. We know what the death was, if he caught a skin condition, because he was down. If the lepers were to put on clothes, if the lepers were to cover up down there, how they gonna survive down there? The lepers was put outside the gate so that people wouldn't get sick. Now they are clean. They're clean because they clean all the way. The Europeans that came, they clean because they don't have no more spots. But they're clean if they're born without spots. So that's not the thing. The ones that was put outside the camp, if they would have touched the European person, what that's going to affect them? Unless they start having a hair falling out and bumps and stuff and mumps coming up, maybe that'll be the thing for them. But the people in that area, that's why they said that if your skin have patches on it, that's what kind of leprosy the Abar people was talking about in the book of Leviticus. So when you see this right here, mineral sunscreen referred to a physical which was only organic compounds, zinc oxide and titanium dioxide as active ingredients. These ingredients primarily work by absorbing UV rays, but also through reflection and refraction. Chemical sunscreens which use organic molecules as active ingredients. These products are sometimes referred to as petromechanical sunscreen, since the active organic molecules are synthesized starting with the building blocks typically derived from petroleum. Chemical sunscreens ingredients also mainly work by absorbing the UV rays. Over the years, some organic UV observers have been heavily scrutinized their toxicity, and a few of them have been banned in places such as Hawaii and Thailand for their impact on aquatic life and the environment. Hybrid sunscreens, which contain a combination of organic and inorganic UV filters. Medical organizations. So if you have a tank, Shalom, Sister Selena. So if they started out with a tank, like that scuba diving tank that had that big old heavy helmet on there at first, you know what I'm saying? The big heavy helmet, and to go under the water with the scuba tank. Then they updated to make it more So they update it. You see what I'm saying? So this is all this is updating this protection. Like when people go to a beehive, they wear protective clothing because the beehive is not their natural habitation. Okay, so let's read what they got here for history and early civilization. Early civilization used a variety of plant products to help protect the skin from sun damage. For example, ancient Greeks used olive oil for this purpose. Now, where did they get olive oil from, family? The Greeks. They came down there and set up a colony, as it is recorded in historical documents and inside of the Bible. And the ancient Egyptians used extracts of rice, jasmine, and lupine plants, whose products are still used in skincare today. Now they say Egyptians, see, you got different kind of mausoleum. You got mausoleum, and look at where is it, fam? Let me click inside of here. Let's go and see the mausoleum. Remove crop. View. So if y'all can see that, that's mausoleum over there on this side. So look where mausoleum at, fam. Now, when you go up here, where you see Syria, where it says Syria, Brother K. Judah, I would love for Brother K. Judah to do something on this as well. So we're going to look up Syria, and it's right over from mausoleum. All right, so let's go to Syria and look at who they have for the mausoleum. Now, remember, they said that Yawasop and all them is white people. Right? They say all them is white people. So they say the Hamites and the Shemites is white people. And the Japhethite is white people. So who is all these people that look like they ain't got no land rights? So you got the Hamites, ain't got no land rights. You got the Shemites, already ain't got no land rights. And they set up a colony down there. So you got all these people, the Sub-Sahara, all this, they say is them. Everything they say is them. So when we bring this out, why do people who say that they love their country and they love the way they laws and stuff, all this, the European people wouldn't dare to go down there. They didn't go down here during no slavery. Even Kemet, they didn't want to go down there. And guess what? All the people that came down here from Europe, they were getting sick because of the diseases. So let me go back. Olive oil for purposes. Ancient mausoleum did not need that. And look at what they got here. Woman from Madagascar wearing traditional sunscreen whose use date back. This was so they wouldn't be hot, I reckon, or to keep away mosquitoes and flies. Her brother told me that they rubbed that white stuff on their face. That's to take away mosquitoes and flies, because they got malaria and a lot of stuff out there, you know, just like they have in Florida and just like they have in other places. They have malaria and stuff out there, family. All right. So at ancient mausoleum, not Egyptians, because that's what the Europeans call themselves, Egyptians. And look at this right here. Civilization concentrated along the lower reaches of the Nile River in northeast. What's this, family? Now they say we Africans, right? But when we say what the Bible say and what historians say and what all of the genetic records say, they say no, that's y'all Africans. Okay, Northeast Africa, African. Well, they say, well, we take that off the map. Even a lot of Pan-Africanists make a mistake with this. They don't cover this part of the map because of that Suez Canal that was created recently. They just cover this part of the map, but they don't cover this side of the map. But that is on the same African tectonic plate. The Masriam is right next door. These people had interactions with each other all the time. One of a great rulers in Kemet was Zapnapanea, and that is an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. Joseph, my bad. Not the tribe of Benjamin, but the father of Banya, Yamayan, and Apar Rayam. Apar, that's how you say African Apar. Look, Rayam, Africans. Apar, Yum. Africans. Yum on the end makes it plural. Apar, Rayam, Africans. So a tribe of the northern tribe was called Africans. Baba Kwasha. Another tribe was called Apar, African, from the seed of Yaktan, which were Shemitic people, Sham. And they look like this right here. How do Africans look? So how does Africans look? Aparium. So if Aparium, Africans look like Africans, right? Aparayam, Africans. Ophir, Africans. So if the Egyptians look like this, how do Africans look? Like this. Apariam. But now they say Apariam, Africans mean Hamites. You see the flip? Everybody in that area was not Africans. Everybody that's called Ophir is not of the same blood lineage. Because you got the son of Yaktan, which is a tribe called Ophir, Aphir, and you have a son of Yaaquaba that's called Aparayam, Africans. But they're not the same bloodline, which means they all have their own lots of inheritance, so that nobody could subvert them in their lots of inheritance, and they will have a land where they could drink. They could have their own kings, rulers. But when people come in with colonism, they destroy the mindset with indoctrination. You have people from what they call now today, that's why I keep saying what they call now today, Africa, that call themselves colored. They call themselves blacks. They going off of the color of their skin, of their pigmentation. And you have other people that call themselves whites. They're going off of the color of their skin, their pigmentation. Where did this start? You remember Blumenbach and all them? They started all this. They started this movement. They is the one that separated the European races by calling one the Georgian and the Caucasus for Caucasians, and all this right here, and saying that the Caucasians was very beautiful people, and they were. Did you know that Blumenbach called some of y'all that's in Europe, that's from Japheth? Did you know that Blumenbach called some of y'all the ugly races too? Did y'all know that? That they called us apes, and they said that some of y'all is undesirable European people. So when we talk about bloodline, we're not talking about that right there. This is right here is so that you could be aware of whose lots is whose, so that when Messiah come back, that you could be on your face praying, and praying in the right way. Hopefully, even Esau sought for mercy, and he didn't find it, but he still sought it carefully with tears. Is y'all gonna let Esau beat y'all praying? A lot of our brothers and sisters think all of y'all Esau. I don't think that. But is y'all gonna let Esau beat y'all praying? You know, can you imagine? An elder was bringing out the other day. These people were Shawkar people. You know, they had that great equalizer. Family, back then, they didn't have no pistol. They didn't have no great equalizer. Nah, they didn't have that back then. So back then, you either was going to be able to beat Big Mbasu without no extra help. You had to be able to beat Big Mbaka. You know, that big African hammer knocker with muscles like this right here. That skill that throwing the javelin and skill that war. I'm talking about Big Mbasa. So guess what? They wasn't down there fighting all these wars that they say they was fighting. That was Shawkar people. People down there that was fighting giants. Mashpaka. They weren't out there walking around naked in Northeast Africa for 3 years as a sign. These were Shawkar people, black people out there. Yasharal that's prophesied to be put on slave ship is Shawkar people. Now, let me ask you this. Now, they say, well, it didn't say nothing about no ship. So let me ask you this. So when Messiah said they shall be dispersed into all the nations of the earth, captive into all the nations of the earth, and the mode that was used was ships, that people was put on ships and dispersed to every nation of the earth as captives, like it said. Messiah said it, Luke chapter 21, and some people don't want to believe him because he spoke about us, about our days. So let's say this right here. So was there any airplanes back then when Messiah was prophesying? The one that Revelations chapter 1 say, behold, his feet was like unto fine brass, brown, as if burnt in the furnace, Shawkar, very dark, hair like wool. What did they call Negroes' hair? Woolly hair. What we call it in the hood, nappy hair. What did our sisters call that back there in the back there? They call that the kitchen. I used to run from my mama when she got back there in the kitchen. That's called nap. So you got people that's supposed to meet the description of people who were able to walk around naked, male and female, in the hottest place on the planet before sunscreen and tanning lotion was created. Before they first set up their first colony. So it was people supposed to be able to walk around naked in Africa for 3 whole years. And look at Yeshaya walked around for 3 whole years. And we know that Yeshaya is an Israelite. And they went inside of the forbidden place for the Europeans to even go before those days. They recently went down in there. They recently went down there to South Africa. They recently went down there to West Africa. But guess who they had sent down there to get you? Read Psalms chapter 83. They had slave catchers to come down there and get you, hired by them to go and catch the people who had to flee out of their country with that Byzantine Empire stuff and all that what they was doing, setting up religions all across the continent, because because it's a continent, because inside of a continent, there's countries. Europe is a continent. Inside of what we call today the North is full of countries. But when they came down there, they treated the whole mass as one big Nigger. That means every place was called one thing. And they came down there looking for a specific people. Just like when they had to attack and hit them things down there recently. They had it set out. That king had sent out an edict to catch these people and put them on the ship because they said we owed them. They said we owed them debt in Spain and Portugal, and they kicked off the slave trade war. And they started trafficking our people over here. Olado Aquino from the tribe of Yahuda is a witness. The elder Ibn Said is a witness to whom they was catching. All we got to do is go and read the history of the people that was trafficked. And an Arabic man who was a slave catcher. Who was the slave catchers in the ancient days? The Arabic people. The dark-skinned people. Who did our fathers sell Yawasap to? Who became Sap not Panea after he got forgotten. Like people forget about you when you came up with these inventions and stuff, and you say, hey, will you remember me? And when they make it, they forget about you, like Yawasap was forgot about down there in that dungeon. But don't worry about it. Yahushua ain't forget about you. He count the Father, the Abba, and the Shamayam count every number. He number all the hair on your head. He ain't gonna forget. He's not gonna forget. He's an Alahayim of justice, and he will remember you. He said, you are the apple of my eye. He said, if I forget about you, if I forget about you, Yasha Allah, may my hand forget its cunning ways, which means his loving ways towards you. He said, I've written your name on my hand. Now, how can you be anti him when he said he wrote your name on his right hand? And I swear unto you, I will not forget you. But they tell you that you don't matter. And they build up all these colonies and lands and things set up. And your whole life you live in misery to go and work. And our whole purpose as a people is to work on plantations. Our whole purpose in this captivity is to work to build up more wealth and accumulate more money for them. This is more like the Abar people. This right here, Khawam, brown, which is the color of copper. Now let me look up a penny one more time. I did it before, I'm gonna look it up one more time. A penny, I'm gonna look it up, copper penny. Who is this complexion here, Mashpaka? What they say, bronze? They say, oh, he's bronze. He's not your color. Look at this right here. Who is this complexion? Inside of these coins, which one look like they darker? Can you see color? Look at this right here. Copper penny. One translator say his flesh is like copper, as if burnt in a furnace. Can you see color, family? We learn how to tell our colors in kindergarten, and we get grown, and religious people tell you that color don't matter. So why did you waste all of our time inside of kindergarten when we could have been outside playing? Why did you waste our time? We would have been happy to play with Bobby and them outside with their sunscreen because we wanted them to be protected. With little Billy Bob and them, we enjoyed playing with Billy Bob and them outside on the slide, outside. When Karen went out there calling the police. Karen was a little Karen at one time. But somewhere down the road, something popped off inside of people's head. And everything you learn inside of school, you learned your colors. And now when you get grown, they say, oh, color don't matter. So why did you teach us colors in school? Let's look up lamb. Let's look up woolly hair. And let's see if people get deceptive with this. It's a shame that people lie holding the Bible in their hand on purpose. I'm not saying people that lie without a purpose. Now look at this right here. Who got woolly hair like that? Now what color is the copper penny? Do y'all remember the penny? Is this a sister, ain't it? Do we have eyes to see? Or are we just blind now? We can't see no more. And I'm saying this in regards to these people that call themselves believers in religious organizations. Look at this. Who got woolly hair and with copper skin tone? Who was the captives in the last day? Look at this sister with these braids in her head. Who is this with this copper hair? With this woolly hair, my bad. With the copper skin tone. Who is this sister? With the afro. With the copper skin tone. Who is these people with this copper skin? So is this, the people have to fit a description. Now, was he put in a slave ship? Or would they pick somebody that looked like this and put them inside the slave ship? And look what her name is, Victoria Gomez. That's okay. So where was our people taken? To the Caribbeans, right? So we trying to identify. So let's look up African Americans. How do African Americans look like? And look at what they put. It's a woolly hair syndrome. They say a woolly hair syndrome. Is your hair a syndrome? That's not what woolly hair mean. Confusion everywhere. I see what our brother from Jamaica was saying. Everything is getting mixed all up. Let's look up freedmen. And I'm pretty sure since we've been teaching about freedmen, brother and sister, you better pay attention. Now these is the freedmen. Now you may turn around and 10 years later, or maybe next month or next year, and the freedmen don't even look like that no more. This is the freedmen. This is who they call African Americans, Negro American. Look at this right here. Freedmen, abolition, emancipation, reconstruction. This me and Kate Judah and Monster Moshe and them people. This the Caribbean island, we all kin folk. But y'all was on different plantations, going through different suffering, and we would never go to y'all plantations and cosplay like we one of y'all and say that y'all ain't got no history. Not some of us that got a heart. Not some of us that ain't cold-hearted. These is the freedmen. Some of them were mulattoes. Some of them were Sambos. These is the freedmen. And some of them were mangrooms. Look at the freedmen. These is the freedmen. My goodness. So now everybody is a freedman. Everybody paying $5. I just don't get it. But anyway, let me get off of here, fam. And this is what I want to bring out today. You know, in order for us to understand the Bible in its correct context, we got to accept what it say in its normal context. This stuff, what we've been seeing, is wrong, family. The truth is the truth. If the Europeans right now, they say they having an opioid crisis, I refuse to jump in front of the bandwagon and say, I'm a European person, I'm white people, I can't do that. I'm not finna do that. You see what I'm saying? So this is the things that we have to deal with as brother and sister. This is the stuff we got to deal with. And you know, I'm so grateful. I see our brothers and sisters with the same blood, but they, even though they came off of different plantations that have its own specific things that they require, that they inquire, that they need. I'm so grateful for our brothers and sisters that's on code in America. North, South, East, North America, South America, Caribbean islands, Europe, and Africa. Some of my brothers and sisters that's over there, that you know, Sierra Leone and different places, that they not finna come and try to circumvent the situation and pretend as if your suffering ain't real and that it really was them. I'm grateful for the brother and sister that got the mindset of that right there. And this is the mindset we need to keep. So family, I'm finna go ahead and get up off here now. If there are any questions or any statement, and Shalom, NC Rock, Sister Selena, Sister Naomi, K. Judah, Shalom, and thank y'all for coming out. If y'all have any statements, you can write it here or write it underneath the video. All right. When it's done, you can write it under the comment section. Shalom, fam. Let's keep this conversation going. That means let's keep the truth and not the lie. Shalom.
Yai Quab on the track.
Hands on the plow, yeah, how was shy, coming back, man in the cloud. We as well of people on the four corner. Must have sinned, but the dead got a grave first. We got a warning from the Father made long time ago. Being marked by the nations everywhere we go. Nothing left but a promise from the Father and the Son. Eat the breadcrumbs, sloppy dogs, but we got you raw with a broken soul in the spirit. Father, heal it. Man, I favor hope over every adversary. I gotta wait, even though it seem a long tarry. My mind tired, but I'm still begging, Father, help me. Now where my mama, where my daddy, I feel lost in the sea of wilderness. Why I'm the black sheep. I don't want to boast to me, cause I ain't trying to be conceited. Pray for clarity of mind, because the devil want me heated. My name and my heritage. Turn on.